Powered by Riverside.
It's the Dynasty front office, and we are building you championships one trade at a time.
My name is Chad Mendoza, and this is the trade banger of the week. This is the deal that's too good, too bad, or just too wild not to talk about. If you got a deal that shook up your league, send it our way. It might just be next week's trade banger. How's it going, guys?
Good, man. How are you?
You said your last name this time. It's the
Yeah,
first time you ever did that.
I think, yeah. And I didn't even think about it. I just did it, and I was like, yeah, that didn't feel right. But, yeah, something different. We're coming off recording the main pod with Jerry Sinclair. If you haven't checked that out, and it is live, I think are we going to post that one first? Or
yeah, we'll post that one first.
Okay, so yeah, if you haven't checked that one out yet, please do. Really fun episode to record.
Definitely.
Jerry Sinclair with the Dynasty Warzone, where we kind of got our start as a podcast. So those guys mean a lot to us, and just thought I'd mention that.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
Yeah, I thought so too. Yeah. We got a really fun trade this week. Young quarterbacks, picks, potential players, maybe some good wide receivers, maybe another young quarterback. Who knows how it goes? But Team 1 in this trade is receiving Cam Ward and the 108. And Team 2 is receiving the 103 and the 110. Now, this is in this league, these are two teams that are both kind of in the rebuilding stage, which I thought was really interesting. It's in the league that I'm in with a bunch of Sharks. And these guys made this trade. I think it made sense for both of them. The guy with the 103 and 110 kind of needs to make a little bit more of a risky play. And I think the other guy is just wanting a quarterback, essentially. So a little quarterback poor, and maybe just doesn't believe he's going to get Simpson, or maybe doesn't believe in Simpson. I'm not sure. Right off the bat, though, we're coming off of free agency. Cam Ward's an interesting subject. What do you guys think?
In which facet? Like in Cam Ward itself, we're saying?
Yeah, him as an asset. How do you think it went?
I think it went pretty good. Obviously, I think we wanted him to get better weapons per se, at least more, household names. But I think they did pretty well giving him something, at least for what Dabble wants to do in that offense. And I'm assuming we still hope that he's going to, they're going to go after a big name piece in the draft with that early first round pick. And I think that will change a lot of what we view as Cam Ward. So, I can't view it as a negative. I don't think they made the team worse. And I think the coaching and the system and hopefully the franchise in general is better than what we saw last year going forward.
So relatively positive for you? You're coming out of...
Yeah,
okay.
I don't have a reason to feel like it's a negative all season so far.
Yeah, I was just kind of gauging more like neutral or positive. I don't think there's an argument for it getting worse. That would be really hard to do. Jesse, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think what they did made sense. Now, Wanda Robinson's not going to light the world on fire, but it made sense to give Cam Ward a stable, quick, open type receiver, just an outlet. The guys that they took last year, DK and Iron Man, are more downfield type players. So it fits well. If you add Carnell Tate to this, then it looks really good. And it fits really well. I think that's just a nice mesh. If you add Jeremiah Love to this, then it starts to look really good as well. I think I said last week, maybe it was the week before, that I think Dable's going to run a lot of RPO quick reads for Cam Ward, and I think Love will fit really well with that. And I think Wan'Dale Robinson will fit really well with that as well. Like I said, quick open. It works well with RPOs if you have somebody that's, you pull the handoff is immediately open with 5 to 7 yards from the line of scrimmage, 3 to 7 yards from the line of scrimmage. It's good. It's not amazing, but it's good. It's a step in the right direction. I really like the Dable hiring for Cam Ward. I mean, I guess you can include that in the offseason too, right? So Cam Ward got a competent coach, whereas last year they were just a mess. Yeah. They were just a complete mess. They had an offensive coordinator trying to be a head coach, and obviously it didn't work. You never know until they give it a shot, but it didn't work in that situation.
So let's play an interesting game here. Cam Ward's really the only player we know about at the moment in this trade. Again, Cam Ward being sent with the 108 for the 103 and the 110. Let's assign some, choose your flavor kind of profiles here. 108, I'll just say up in the air, right? Like we all know as savvy Dynasty players, you can sell these picks, probably get a veteran that you want to get. That's always an option. We're going to pretend that's not an option. And I'm going to say 108 is your pick of like the Denzel Boston, Omar Cooper, Casey Concepcion tier of player. And then on the other side, we have the 103 and the 110. Let's say the 103 is Carnell Tate. Or even maybe if you like one of the other two better, right? I know Austin's a big Mekhi Lemon guy, so let's say Mekhi Lemon at 103 for him. And then at 110, again, let's just throw in Ty Simpson in there to make it interesting, right? The quarterback going in the other direction. What do you guys think about the deal overall with those parameters?
I'm a lot more interested in the pick side if you're telling me I'm confident to take Ty Simpson at the 110. Same. That means the draft went well enough that he earned draft capital, that I'm choosing him more than likely over one of those three receivers you mentioned for the 108. So that means I feel good about his landing spot. So then I'm still getting a likely first round quarterback in the NFL draft, and I'm getting what we're all basically viewing as I'm not going to use the word elite, but whatever you want to call the tier below elite prospect coming in at receiver. So I feel really good about that combo.
Jesse?
Yeah, I think I'm there too. If you're telling me I can get a quarterback that obviously he's never been any thought, to be taken like 101, like Cam Ward. So he doesn't have the cachet, doesn't have probably the talent. He definitely doesn't have the physical talent of Cam Ward. He doesn't have the arm.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're telling me I can get a quarterback and an elite wide receiver for a quarterback and a not so elite wide receiver, I probably would have to take that side. It's only because the shine is off of Cam Ward. It's just so much of your evaluation of him and whether you think it's the coaching or if you and whether you ever thought he had that elite potential to begin with. I think he was a pretty controversial 101. A lot of people thought he was worth it. A lot of people did.
Yeah. It's interesting, right? Because we're presenting probably the best case scenario for the 103, 110 side. We're saying, I'm assuming that that's the risk play that this guy's taking. He's saying, you know what, let me get the elite playmaker at wide receiver, and then maybe I do take a step back from Cam Ward to the 110, but maybe I get Ty Simpson, and that looks good. Let's say the best case scenario doesn't happen. Let's say Ty Simpson's off the board. He has to go with another player that you think is going to be around that 110 range. We don't have draft capital at this point of the season, right? So what do you think at that point? And let's say the worst case scenario happens. He can't trade this pick away. Nobody wants it. He can't take a quarterback at this point. How do you feel about the trade overall?
It's a lot different now, right? So if I'm not getting a quarterback, 108 and 110 are essentially the same pick. So I don't really care if I have to trade down a little bit. If I have to trade down from 108 to 110 and I'm still getting a wide receiver in that Omar Cooper, Casey Concepcion, Denzel Boston range, then what's the difference? I guess the difference is at 108, you get your pick of those guys. At 110, you have to take the guy that falls to you. It's that doesn't move the needle for me.
Yeah.
So
in
now,
reality, in reality, I'm not smart enough to actually know which one of those three are the best players. So
I was kind of thinking I'd rather just take the one that falls anyway. Yeah. So, I mean, we're saying that now, but that once we get landing spots, it could be totally different.
Yeah, there's a world where having your pick of those three is
everything.
Legitimately valuable. Yeah.
Right. You know, if Omar Cooper goes to San Fran in a perfect fit, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And also, I know we're playing the no trade game, but you know, having the potential to trade back to acquire further capital at a time when it's more lucrative, right? Like when the draft is in session and you know, people are trying to move around the board. That also has its advantage as well, you know, getting the high end pick this early in the offseason.
Yeah, I think in this scenario, I'm leaning towards the Cam Ward side because I'm not getting a quarterback with the other side. It just and it's going to depend on the roster. If I don't need a quarterback, then who cares? If I already have three quarterbacks and I'm trading away Cam Ward, then this is the way you do it.
So I'll just let you know the guy has Patrick Mahomes and he has the 102. So I imagine that's going to be Fernando Mendoza.
Okay.
His third quarterback is not great. I think he has Geno Smith or something like that. I can't remember exactly who it was, but one of those kind of guys. And but yeah, I mean it's not terrible, but it's also kind of risky to give up a quarterback in that situation. So I think it is legitimately him playing kind of a risk centric game, trying to have a little comeuppance here. Is this a kind of deal that you would make? Is this a kind of risk that you'll take in the offseason to, you know, kind of bolster your rebuild and you know, I guess expedite the process?
Austin.
I think it depends on my quarterback room, as in moving away from Cam Ward. Acquiring Cam Ward in my rebuild, not really, because I'm moving away from the 103, and I currently don't view the 108 to 110 a far enough gap to take away that risk. But moving off of Cam Ward, it feels like if I have two quarterbacks I'm comfortable in, you know, let me get a re-roll and, you know, maybe let me hope Mendoza does fall. And if he doesn't, then I get my choice of the receivers. So I feel good either way.
In his situation, though, I don't know. You got Mahomes, who's coming off of a significant injury and may not even be ready to start the season. And if he is, may need a few games or half the season to look like Mahomes. And then you have a rookie, right? So the beginning of your season is going to look scary at quarterback. Having Cam Ward still looks scary though, because you can't really project him as a you know, QB1.
I think the way I kind of see it is he's not competing this year, right? This is two rebuilding rosters trading.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. All right.
So,
well, yeah, if you're rebuilding, then okay, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, so you have two rebuilding rosters trading with each other. I think in my mind, it makes sense for the guy that is trading Cam Ward away to say, you know what? If I don't believe in the quarterback, I know the quarterback position has some insulation here, but the 103 is going to be the more valuable asset in the short term, in that it's you know, liquidity. He can get rid of that almost at any point he wants to get rid of that before that pick is made, right? So it gives him more options if he wants to say, you know what, I have a few safer players that I have in mind, maybe even a quarterback from another team that he feels better about than Cam Ward. I think that's a very realistic option at 103. So I think it maybe just gives team 2 a little bit more flexibility, which I like in a rebuild personally, which I thought made the trade really interesting because it's kind of a thought experiment of, do you want to lock yourself into the quarterback that is still a projection, although was a really decent, you know, prospect coming out in Cam Ward, or do you want to say, you know what, disappointing first year, let me re-roll, whether it's in the draft if Fernando Mendoza for some reason falls to 103, or if I can go ahead and move that 103 for another player that I like and feel a little bit better about.
Yeah, that was I started thinking about that just before you said it. Like, that's kind of my thought is there another quarterback that I can get for 103 that I like better than Cam Ward? I Darnold or Purdy kind of popped into my
Not
head.
in a rebuild, really, either of those.
True. I mean,
At
they're
least
both
they wouldn't
going
be
to
my first option.
They're both going to be in their prime still in a couple years when you come out of your rebuild. I mean,
Darnold's going to be in his 30s. That's not really a prime.
What is he, 27?
I thought it was 9, but I could be wrong.
I think he's older than 27. If I had to guess.
I mean, the younger quarterbacks than that are too expensive. Like you can't get Bo Nix or Darnold.
Yeah, he's about to be.
Well,
29.
you're going to be in like the CJ Stroud, kind of what Tyler Shuckett plus range. So it's. Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be personal preference at that point.
Yeah,
maybe somebody wants to add, or maybe he can add a little more and get up to the Jordan Love tier, which is something.
So take it for what it's worth, because let's be real, this doesn't matter. But Keep Trade Cut has the 26 early first equivalent to Brock Purdy, Bo Nix, and Jordan Love. Now we don't know if that's the 102 or the 101, but. The next names after that would be Dak, Cam Ward, and CJ Stroud. So exactly with Darnold right after that. So exactly kind of where we're thinking. So, I kind of like Chad's ideas, giving up maybe a little bit more and going up to making sure you can get in that tier of Love, Nix, something like that.
Look at us doing trades within trades within trades.
Yeah.
It's like trade banger inception going on right now.
Nice. All right, so from the standpoint of the team that has the 103, it makes sense. We're in a draft that I can't take a quarterback with 103. I just missed out on Mendoza. Who else can I get? Who else is young with upside? I'm in a rebuild. Cam Ward makes a lot of sense. I understand it. And then the 8-10 swap, I don't, like I said before, I don't really care about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's almost like a free. It's because 108 and 110 likely going to be the same tier. It's almost just like a swap, like hey, choose for me kind of deal.
Yeah,
which I don't mind. I don't mind taking those any day of the week if I prefer the 103 over Cam Ward, as a rebuilding roster.
Yeah, I guess the only other reason that might matter is if you're going to trade it. The 108 just sounds better. It looks better.
Yeah,
it
definitely.
carries a little more value.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, and you can have somebody slip. We've seen it happen. I mean, Sadiq could fall.
True.
A clear RB2 could fall. And then that pick becomes considerably more valuable. Where 110, that is unlikely to happen. You're not going to have this many players to where somebody big falls.
Or there's just a player there that somebody really likes. Somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody went to. I'm blanking on
Indiana
somebody went to Indiana, and they love Omar
yeah.
Cooper. Yeah, exactly.
It's two very different strategies in a rebuild. Very different strategies in a rebuild, but I think both have their merits, and you can argue both sides really easily. From my standpoint, at least. Do you guys have just an overall? I know we went through a few scenarios, but all scenarios aside, we're in real world now. You can do whatever you want with the picks. You can do whatever you want with Cam Ward. What side are you taking?
The picks. Way more fluidity for me to choose what I want to do.
I'll take Cam Ward. I think if we go through the draft, the NFL draft, and Tennessee takes a significant weapon with that high pick, it's going to be harder to get Cam Ward at that point because the view is going to be, a lot better. So I'll take the pick. I'll take the young quarterback with high upside that I can't really get otherwise with 103.
All right. I like it. I like it a lot. This has been the trade banger of the week. If you've got a trade, again, shook up your league, it's been talked about, it's controversial, send it our way. We always like putting those out there. I know the trade season's kind of light right now. Everybody's kind of taking a break from Dynasty. But as soon as it heats back up, we're going to get a lot more people in here with some interesting trades. You can reach us at dynfo.official@gmail.com. Again, that's dynfo.official@gmail.com. All right, guys, let's get out of here.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the front office. The lights are low, the clock is ticking. From the heart of the startup draft to the championship throne, one crew rules the long game. Give it up for the undisputed architects of empire, Dynasty!